The African bush, vast and unforgiving. For one tiny lion cub, life began with a gasp for survival. Danger lurked behind every acacia tree. He was so very small, truly defenseless. His journey started with the toughest test. The sun, a merciless eye in the sky. Water was scarce, a precious, rare gift. Food even scarcer for a young mother. She had to protect her little one. Predators were many, always watching, waiting. Hyenas, leopards, even other lions too. Every rustle in the grass, a potential end. Life was truly on a knife's edge. His mother's soft growl, a reassurance. She was his shield, his only protector. He clung to her warmth, her scent. This was his first lesson in the wild. Trust your mother, fear the unknown. The bush does not forgive any mistake. He had to learn fast, or he would not last. His spirit, though tiny, was already strong. A spark of defiance in his innocent eyes. A Tsalala lion destined for greatness. His remarkable story was just beginning. The Tsalala Pride, a name known here, whispered with respect across the land. Their legacy is etched in this wild place. A story of resilience, of sheer survival. They have faced so many challenges, droughts, rival prides, changing landscapes, yet the Tsalala bloodline endures, a testament to the strength of lions. Their spirit is truly something special, a dynasty carved out of the African heartland. For generations they have roamed these plains, the Tsalala lionesses, fierce and clever. They are the backbone of this famous pride, protecting their cubs, hunting with skill. They have seen kings come and go, powerful males ruling for a short time, but the lionesses remain, steadfast, carrying the future in their mighty wombs. Their history is a rich tapestry indeed, woven with courage, loss and triumph. The pride's territory, a prized possession, fought for, defended with blood and roar. It holds the key to their survival, a legacy that our lone cub inherited, a heavy burden but also a great honor. Our little hero, born into this world of Tsalala legacy and danger. His mother, a Tsalala through and through. She chose a secluded spot for his birth, a hidden den, away from prying eyes, hoping to give her offspring a chance. He was so small, his eyes barely open. A fragile new life in a very tough world. His first few weeks, a blur of warmth. His mother's milk, her constant presence. He knew nothing of the dangers outside, only the safety of her loving care. But this peace could not last long. Soon he would have to face the world. His tiny paws, still so very clumsy. His little growls, mere squeaks for now. But within him a Tsalala heart beats strong, a tiny fighter, ready for his kismet. The Sabisand is a challenging nursery. For a male cub, the odds are stacked high. He would face threats from all sides. Not just predators, but other lions too. Especially rival males, a constant fear. His mother knew this all too well. Protecting him was her most important job. He was a precious survivor from the start. The air in the Sabisand often changed. One day calm, the next filled with tension. This was usually because of male lions, dominant coalitions patrolling their lands. Their roars would echo through the night, a declaration of power, a warning to all. These were the kings, the fearsome rulers, and they tolerated no rivals, no threats, especially not young male cubs like ours. Their presence cast a long, dark shadow. These coalitions were truly formidable. Groups of brothers, or unrelated males. They fought together, they ruled together, taking over prides, driving out other males. When new kings arrived, it was a terrible time. A time of upheaval, of great uncertainty. The lionesses were caught in between, trying to protect their young ones fiercely. But the power of the new males was immense. Many cubs, sadly, would not survive this. Our little Tsalala cub felt this danger, even if he did not understand it fully. His mother's anxiety, her restlessness, she would be on high alert constantly. Her courage, it knew no bounds. In this world of constant looming threat, there was one unwavering beacon of safety. His mother, a true Tsalala lioness. Her love for him, a fierce burning fire. She was his protector, his provider, his teacher. Everything he knew, he learned from her. Their bond, it was something truly special. More than just instinct, it felt like devotion. She had lost others, perhaps, and so, he became her entire world. She would lead him to hidden water holes. She would share her kills, ensuring he ate first, even when she herself was hungry. Her own needs came second to his. She taught him the ways of the bush, how to stalk, how to listen, how to hide. Her patience with him, it was endless, guiding his clumsy attempts with gentle nudges. He would watch her, mesmerized by her skill, her every move, a lesson in survival. Their relationship, it was quite rare. Often young males are pushed away sooner, but she kept him close for longer. Perhaps she sensed his unique destiny, or maybe she simply could not let go. Time waits for no one, not even lions. Our young Tsalala male, he was growing fast, his spots were fading, his mane starting to show. A lanky youngster full of playful energy. But the world around him remained dangerous. The lessons from his mother, deeply ingrained. He was learning to be more aware, more cautious. The stirrings of independence began to appear, a natural process for any young male lion. But for him, it felt especially poignant. He started to explore a little further. Always under his mother's watchful eye, he would practice his stalking skills on insects, or pounce on his mother's twitching tail. These were more than just games. They were preparations for the life ahead, a life where he would be on his own. He was observing the older males from afar, learning their ways, their strengths, their weaknesses, his keen mind absorbing every single detail. The time for him to leave was approaching, a difficult moment for both mother and son. In some cases, young males are driven out by the dominant males or even their own father. For him, it might have been a gentler parting. Now he was a nomad, a solitary figure, roaming the vast expanses of the Sabisand. This life is incredibly challenging, especially for a young male, all alone. He had to find his own food, his shikar. Hunting alone is much harder than in a pride. He had to avoid established territories, steering clear of powerful resident males. Their roars were a constant reminder that he was an outsider here. His days were a relentless cycle of movement, searching for prey, searching for water, searching for a safe place to rest his head. He had to be constantly alert, ever vigilant. Danger could come from any direction, any time. Other predators like hyena clans were a threat. They would not hesitate to challenge a lone lion, especially if he showed any sign of weakness. He learned to be cunning, to be resourceful. These skills were essential for his survival. Loneliness, it must have been a companion. Lions are social creatures, by their nature. He had known the warmth of his mother, the comfort of her presence, her company. Now he had only himself to rely on. What does the future hold for such a lion? This lone Tsalala, a wanderer of spirit. As of today, in this year 2025, we watch. We hope, we wonder about his destiny. Will he continue his nomadic existence always? Or will he find a chance to settle down? Perhaps he might meet other young males, form a coalition, a band of brothers. Together they could challenge for a territory, and finally find a place to call home. His genes, they are incredibly precious. He is a survivor of a tough period. He carries a bloodline known for resilience. The Tsalala lineage, strong and enduring. If he manages to father cubs of his own, he will pass on this incredible legacy. His offspring too, they might inherit his spirit, his courage, his remarkable will to live. This is the hope of the wilderness, the continuation of life against all odds. Many people follow his story closely. From all around our wonderful world, they see in him something truly special, a reflection of their own struggles. His journey, it gives them hope. It shows that even in the darkest times, there is always a chance for survival, a chance to overcome, to find strength. So why does this Tsalala Lion story touch us? Why do we admire him so very much? It is because he embodies something profound, something that resonates deep within our hearts. He is a symbol of survival, plain and simple. Against all odds, he has not just lived, he has thrived in his own solitary way. He faced dangers that would break most, yet he stood tall, he kept on fighting. A true testament to the power of life. His resilience, it is truly awe-inspiring. From a vulnerable cub to a strong nomad, he adapted, he learned, he overcame. The harshness of his early life, it shaped him. It forged him into a creature of immense strength. Not just physical strength, but mental too. The will to live, it is a powerful force, and this lion, he has it in abundance. He reminds us to never lose hope, ever. Even when the path ahead seems impossible. His courage, it is the stuff of legends. To walk alone in a world of giants, to face down hunger, thirst, and loneliness, to carry the weight of his legacy. This requires a special kind of bravery. He's not a king with a crown or a throne, but he is a king in his own right. In the wild, most cubs need a pride to survive. This is a fundamental truth of the African savanna. A pride offers protection. It provides many hunters. It means shared duties in raising the young. But this cub, the Tsalala male, had only one protector, his mother. Their story began against formidable odds. It unfolded in the Sabisand Game Reserve, a place of beauty and brutal realities. Here, life and death are constant companions. The survival of a lone lioness and her single offspring was, by any measure, an extraordinary proposition. The African wilderness is an unforgiving theater. Every creature plays a role, often dictated by ancient rules of survival. For lions, the social unit, the pride, is paramount. To be without a pride is to be vulnerable. It means facing the constant threat of starvation, of attack from rival lions, or predation by other large carnivores like hyenas. The Tsalala lioness found herself in this precarious position. She was a queen without a kingdom, a mother with a singular precious charge. Consider the statistics. Lion cub mortality is tragically high. Even within the protective embrace of a large pride, fewer than half of all cubs typically survive to their first birthday. For a cub raised by a single mother, these odds lengthen considerably. The Tsalala lioness was not always a solitary figure. She was once part of the Tsalala pride, a name that resonated with a certain history in the Sabisand. Prides, however, are dynamic entities. They rise and fall. They fracture due to internal conflicts or external pressures, such as the arrival of new, more powerful male coalitions. The original Tsalala pride, like many before it, eventually succumbed to these inexorable forces of change. Its numbers dwindled. Its territory perhaps became contested. Following the pride's disintegration, this lioness found herself adrift. Unlike some females who might integrate into other existing prides, she embarked on a more perilous path, that of a nomad, a lone wanderer. This transition is fraught with danger. Lone lionesses are often harassed by resident prides, viewed as intruders in established territories. Then came the birth of her cub. In the secretive way of lionesses, she would have sought out a secluded den site, perhaps a dense thicket or a rocky outcrop, to bring her offspring into the world. Lionesses typically give birth to litters of 2 to 4 cubs. The fact that only one cub, a male, appeared by her side weeks later suggests that he might have been the sole survivor of his litter, or perhaps the only one born. Either scenario underscores the fragility of new life in this environment. A single cub is a concentrated investment of maternal energy, but also a high-risk gamble. The survival of this lone male cub was, in itself, a rarity. The bond between the Tsalala lioness and her son was the bedrock of their survival. It was visible in every interaction, every shared moment. Grooming sessions were frequent and thorough. The mother would meticulously lick her cub, cleaning his fur, reinforcing their connection through touch. These were not just acts of hygiene, they were affirmations of belonging, moments of tenderness in a life defined by constant vigilance. The cub, in turn, would often nuzzle her, seeking reassurance and warmth, his small body pressed close to her powerful frame. Their journeys through the bush were a study in synchronicity. The cub learned to walk in his mother's shadow, her massive paws guiding his smaller ones. She would move with a slow, deliberate pace, always mindful of his ability to keep up. When crossing open areas, her alertness was palpable. She would pause frequently, scanning the horizon, her ears swiveling, her nose testing the wind for any hint of danger before ushering him forward. He, in turn, learned to read her cues, to freeze when she froze, to stay low when she crouched. The story of the Tsalala lioness and her son was not lived in complete isolation from human eyes. Rangers and trackers in the Sabisand Game Reserve became dedicated chroniclers of their journey. Their daily observations, meticulously recorded and shared, provided invaluable insights into the pair's unique life. These experienced bushveld professionals, with their deep understanding of animal behavior, recognized early on that they were witnessing something truly special. Their reports painted a vivid picture of resilience and an extraordinary maternal devotion. One seasoned ranger was quoted as saying, "In all my years I've rarely seen a single lioness manage so well with a lone cub in such challenging territory. She is incredibly smart, very, very cautious. She never takes unnecessary risks." This sentiment was echoed by many. Her ability to avoid confrontations with larger prides and dangerous males was frequently noted. She seemed to possess an uncanny sixth sense for danger, guiding her cub away from potential threats long before they materialized. This intelligence was a key factor in their continued survival. Field guides often shared anecdotes of her hunting prowess. The life of the Tsalala lioness and her son was a constant navigation of perils. As a solitary mother, finding enough food was an unceasing challenge. Hunting alone is significantly harder than hunting as a pride. She had to select her targets carefully, often focusing on smaller, more manageable prey, or scavenging when the opportunity arose. Each hunt was a risk, an injury could be catastrophic, leaving her unable to provide for her cub or defend him. The pressure to succeed day in and day out must have been immense, a heavy burden on her shoulders. One of an apex predator's greatest threats often comes from its own kind. Dominant male lions patrol their territories, and they will not hesitate to kill cubs that are not their own. This infanticidal behavior eliminates future rivals and brings females into estrus more quickly. For the Tsalala lioness, evading these powerful males was a primary concern. She had to be acutely aware of their movements, their roars, their scent markings. The Tsalala lioness was not just a protector and provider, she was a masterful teacher. Every day was a lesson for her young son. He learned the art of the stalk by watching her, her body low to the ground, her movements fluid and silent. He observed her patience, her ability to wait for the perfect moment to strike. These were not formal lessons, but rather an education through immersion, the cub absorbing knowledge through constant observation and mimicry. Her expertise was his only textbook in the harsh school of the wild. She taught him what to fear and what to confront. He learned to recognize the scent of rival males and the alarm calls of other animals that signaled danger. She would demonstrate defensive postures, a low growl or a sudden charge, teaching him how to stand his ground when necessary and when to retreat. These lessons in risk assessment were crucial. As the Tsalala male matured, the weight of expectation, unspoken yet palpable, began to settle upon him. He was the sole male offspring of this determined lioness, the only hope for the Tsalala name to continue. In the world of lions, a male's destiny is to leave his natal area, to face the perils of a nomadic existence, and, if he is strong and fortunate enough, to eventually challenge for dominance over a pride of his own. This is the path to siring offspring and ensuring the propagation of his lineage. His mother had brought him this far, the next chapters would increasingly be his to write. His growing size and strength were evident. He was transforming from a dependent cub into a formidable sub-adult. His mane began to show, a sign of his burgeoning masculinity. He started to display more independent behaviors, perhaps exploring further from his mother or attempting his own clumsy hunts. These were natural steps in his development, signs that her tireless efforts were bearing fruit. The story of the Tsalala lioness and her son is more than just an account of survival. It is an epic of maternal love, intelligence, and an unyielding will to live. They faced a world designed to break the solitary, the unsupported. Yet together, they defied the odds. The mother, a displaced matriarch, poured all her skill, all her energy into this single cub. She was his shield, his teacher, his sole provider. Her success in raising him to the cusp of adulthood in such circumstances is nothing short of extraordinary, a testament to the power of individual determination in the grand theater of nature. In the lion world, bloodlines can be fragile. They rise with powerful males and prides, and they can fade just as quickly with the shifting tides of dominance and fortune. But this mother and her son gave the Tsalala name one last breath of life. They etched a remarkable chapter into the history of the Sabisand. Their tale serves as a powerful reminder that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, life finds a way. It highlights the incredible resilience inherent in these magnificent animals, and the profound depths of the maternal bond that can drive such incredible feats of endurance.